Our third speaker, Bob Holzwarth, Someone Like You. Someone Like You, Bob Holzwarth.
Have you ever heard a song come on the radio and instantly you were transformed back to a very specific time and place? The connection between memory, music, and emotion is very strong. Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. For me, one of those songs is Adele's Someone Like You. That is the song that was playing on the radio on November 22nd, 2012, when I first got the news that Hostess was going to be gone forever. That was the day the ho-ho died. When I first got the news, a whole slew of emotions went running through me, all at once. Anger, shock, denial. How could the company that makes ho-hos be losing money? It didn't make any sense. The only thing that was clear was that we were all headed for a world without ho-hos. I can only imagine how dark and how bleak it might become. I wondered if the sun would ever shine again. How was I going to adapt? What was I going to tell my kids? Hey, sorry there's no more ho-hos, but check out these rice cakes. It wasn't work. I went home that night and I broke out our last carton of ho-hos. I broke the news to my children. And by then I had figured out what we had to do. In a word, last time buy. I did some calculations and I came up with a figure of 127,256 ho-hos. As luck would have it, an even number. As usual, the limiting factor was money. So we tossed some ideas around, and then my daughter said something unexpected. She said, "What about a heist?" Heist? That's perfect. We'll never do anything as a family anymore. So we all started making plans and assigning roles. My son, 14 years old, wanted to be the getaway driver. I said, "That's ridiculous, that's illegal." I said, "Dad, it's a heist." So we all got into some dark clothing, we found some Halloween masks, and we got into the car. It was go time. We drove to Henrietta, to the Hostess Distribution Center, and parked about a half a mile away, and we walked the rest. We climbed over the fence, and I pulled out a bobby pin, and I started jimmying and locking the door. And my daughter handed me a key. I looked at her, she said, "It's under the mat." So we went inside, we found our way to the loading dock. We started filling the truck up with pallets of ho-hos. At one point my daughter said something that made us all laugh. She said, "How are we going to keep these things fresh?" We thought about how preposterous it was for a preservative like no, don't happen. It just does not happen. I went outside to see if I could get the truck started. My other daughter already had it hot wired. YouTube and an iPhone are powerful tools. We piled in, and with my son at the wheel, we crashed the gate and we headed for the road. And I will tell you this, the kid can't keep his room clean, but he can double clutch like a Teamster. We hit the highway, and it wasn't long before he looked in the rearview mirror and he said, "We got company." Apparently we weren't the only ones with our eyes on the warehouse that night. Pretty soon we were surrounded by 4 pickup trucks full of sugar-crazed maniacs. My son panicked. He cut the wheel hard right. The truck jackknifed, and we careened off a guardrail. And we all barreled out onto the street, out of the passenger door. And I noticed that the guardrail had punctured the fuel tank. The fuel was leaking underneath. But we headed for the woods, and my son said, "Don't look back, never look back." We didn't look back, but we heard a loud explosion. We just kept heading into the woods. Eventually we made our way to the car. Along the way we stopped at a convenience store. And there next to the cash register was a Little Debbie rack. And there on that rack was something that I had never seen before, never really cared to notice. But finally freed of the shadow of the Hostess Ho-Ho, finally free to take its proper place in the world, was the Little Debbie Swiss roll. I quickly bought 4 packs, passed them out, and they were delicious. even though it was night, as if the sun began to shine again. Adele came on the radio, and I thought to myself, how will I find someone like you, hostess? Someone like you indeed. Mr. Contest.